Hello and welcome. This is Ayana Lahi, and I am so very happy that you are here with all of us today in this week's episode of Be One, Be You. We are diving into the theme, Let Go of Being in Control. Find your spiritual power instead. We are taught in our global collective culture to think in separation. We have built up the power of separation more than the power in unity of wholeness, in oneness. We have lost the connection and the ability and the driving force in all of the spirit gateways, institute, offerings, teach the way to reconnect into the infinite, pure, and powerful intelligence that is inside of you so that you can work in greater union and harmony and manifestation with the universe. The universe is within you, and yes, it's outside, but you are in the center point where everything meets. And it is this pathway that we are exploring and fulfilling the potential that you have in this lifetime to break through, transform, and become one with that infinite source within inside of yourself. When you go into separation, it takes a lot of energy to maintain that connection. You have to work really hard habitually just by repeat patterns to leave the source within you. The source within you is the real truth voice. And in this global time when there are so many different voices speaking out loud of what their truth is, everyone has their own interpretation and story. And your interpretation and your story of your life can and will shift into oneness, into that alignment with the presence, the pure integrity, and the humility and the true power that all emanate as one from within you. When you let go of being in control, you are actually in a very natural process of uniting with the source truth within inside of you. When you are in control, as I've been sharing with you in just the last few moments, you are holding on to a frequency that turns into control. You are trying to create and keep things together so that you don't feel like you're leaving being in control. Control's a natural response that happens through your traumatic moments of your life. And those traumatic moments are always moments when your life force energy gets blocked. It freezes up. The strength and the power that naturally lives inside of yourself has to be met. It wants to be embraced. It wants to be one with the source of life. The ability to be in control comes from either separation or oneness. When you're in oneness, you are in touch with what another person is feeling, saying, and you connect your whole self into action. So that includes your heart. Your heart center is the source of the beat and the rhythm of how you are being in your life, how you are making the difference that you know that you can make. Because when all of us are honoring our own divine connection into the source, we are realigned with what really matters. The more we separate our mind from our body, the further away that we travel from the source of truth. We can't start trying to decide whose person's truth is better than another person's truth. The place to focus upon is this person mended in their mental body. Have you mended in your mental body? Meaning, have you taken the journey or have begun the journey to be aware of how your thoughts are either in separation because of the inner pain that you are feeling of the emotional abandonment, betrayal, and rejection happening towards you and at you, directed at you? Are you reeling years later from you having to avoid the original emotion that creates the mind pattern, the mind thought? When we separate from oneness, from the heart, from the light, from God, from infinite source, we begin to create that false persona. We find ourselves saying things, doing things, and becoming just our own antidote, our own way of trying to cope with being jolted out of oneness consciousness into separation. We're pliable human beings. We mold. We become what is created on the outside instead of strengthening the integral web of life within ourself. We allow ourselves to grow and create an inner network of fibers and yarns and different colored threads that break over time and get knotted up, and to be able to create a new cloth out of fine silk or sustainable wool, to be able to think in ways that create and promote your union back to the source of life within you. That's the direction that you want to go in, through the reunion with yourself, with the source that is you. Your true self is the source. It's naturally connected to the source. And during this time period, this time in the 21st century, where there is such a misuse of power that has been put up on a throne, and the misuse of power can only happen when the mind becomes the source of identity of who one is, but can also proclaim that they are in service to what their picture is of the higher, that higher dimension of connection into source. Fear is what gets in the way of living in spiritual power, because the spiritual power has been kept under key, under lock and key. And the spiritual power is different than the power over another, the power that is created through fear, the fear of having to go, whoa, I'm disconnected, I'm not one, I'm not whole, and I'm free because, and the mind will fill in the blanks. Well, you can get people to do what you want, you can create more money, and that you feel in control of your life because perhaps you're not feeling inside. Perhaps you don't know yet how to work with the energies of life. The first step is to be willing to let go of how you control your emotional body, to not feel, to not respond. And once you open up the emotion, to then connect into the need within you to be seen, heard, or received. And as you see, feel, receive, hear you create a new connection. It's a beautiful new golden thread in the tapestry of your being. And as you begin to weave this beautiful, beautiful fabric within sight of yourself, you are then on the journey of, am I going into separation because I'm still holding on to emotional patterns that I haven't yet resolved? How do you resolve those patterns when they tie into what you've been loyal to? Your family, your religion, the belief systems of your social environment, how you're supposed to be. And perhaps inside of yourself, you are a natural born visionary, that you've come here with a plan of your own, a way that you want to serve, a way that you want to give to the world, to others. But you find yourself, for instance, still living in an invisible blueprint up until now of fulfilling and giving to your parents and trying to make them happy, trying to solve their problems, trying to fulfill what they could not achieve, to fulfill what you believed as a young child you needed to do to make their lives better. And then you wake up and you find yourself sacrificing who you are. And as you wake up in that moment of realizing that you've put yourself in a box while you've been thinking that you were out of a box, and as you realize that you really want to be who you really are, you have to let go of being in control of trying to fulfill your picture of how you want to serve in the world, or how you want to make money, or what your idea is, or even what your career is or has been up until now. And so you begin to let go of being in control because you recognize that the brick and mortar of the foundation of your life has to shift. And this is where Spirit Gateways comes in, where you're able to rebuild from a new internal structure, that it's a new paradigm where you create being connected into the source of the true life energy, the true spiritual energy, the powerful and mended psychological energy and the joyousness of a clear and open emotional body during a historical time that we are going through right now, where there are such diverse powers that are all playing out their stories. And their stories are big, and the Earth story is big. And so, how do you find your story that is a reconstruction of the you that you thought you needed to be, wanted to be, and it only partially worked until a certain point, or didn't work at all? And so then you need to begin that rebuilding of your foundation to build a new creation that is you, because you are creation in action. And in the Evolutionary Empowerment Global Village, I'm offering the 2 ways of working one-on-one with me, and also the tribe transformation, which you have a choice of 3 vessels, 3 experiences of working in a global community, going through this powerful reconstruction work within, of touching and becoming one with the true you, your true self. And it is a powerful and direct approach that I've created through the Spirit Gateways Institute work. The Spirit Gateways 21st Century Liberation Roadmap is the roadmap from A to Z to bring you through what you have believed to be true, what you have been aligned to, into the deeper alignment within you that gives you the power back of your spiritual power to be able to live in, be in, and fully express who you truly are. So I invite you to jump on over to my website and read more at ianalah.com, IANALAH.com. Control is passed down through our ancestral lineage. It is instilled in the body language that is nonverbal in our world culture. Control ties in with your sexual energies, your spiritual energies, and in particular, your life force energies. Life force energies move through your body. They're connected from the core of the earth and into the subtle levels in the universe. And I go into great depth with that arena of initiation, understanding of how to break through in yourself so that you can touch into all of you. When you understand that you're not controlling and shutting down what's real, such as the life force energy meeting the God energies within you, the masculine and feminine reuniting, when you realize that that's not the path, but what you are in control of is choosing not to go into reactionary anger and causing harm to others, or living in hatred, you realize that you have the ability to not go into creating pain for others because you haven't healed and mended your own inner pain. And so coming through control has everything to do with finding the greater joy, yes, the bliss, and yes, the divine intelligence within you that comes from being one in your spiritual power instead. Thanks for joining all of us today. And I'm holding you in deep love and would love to work with you and experience your transformation with you as you are guided through the portals, the doorways, the gateways back into you, holding you in deep love. Have a beautiful week. All my love.